extranet and multi-dimensional travelers. Welcome back to And Beyond, where we plunge into the void and explore our ever-expanding multiverse. I am your host, the R300, Orion IT Systems Model V04. But you can call me Horus. Today we'll be continuing our series of extraterrestrial exploration on the pungent planet of Methanos. Please keep all appendages inside the portal at all times, and please refrain from stopping to smell the roses. I am not equipped with barf bags. Methanos, one of the most toxic planets in its system. On the surface appears to be nothing but a series of swamp and marshlands thanks to an overabundance of liquid methane permeated throughout the planet's crust from countless underground deposits that, at times, can escape, causing large geysers of fire. And, thanks to it being so close to the sun of its system, this methane is constantly evaporated and mixed into the air, creating a thick, warm, and muggy atmosphere, being a whopping 52% methane, making it unbreathable for most carbon-based life. But that doesn't mean that life hasn't found a way. The planet has a various array of sentient flora, most of which are cannibalistic. And through this cycle of vicious vegetarians, there are two in particular that have grown to be the dominant inhabitants. The first of which are the Methanosians, bipedal stalk-based plant creatures standing between 6 and 9 feet, evolving from various carnivorous plants found commonly around the planet. Methanosians come with an array of petal patterns, colors, and abilities. As a result of growing in such a saturated environment, their bodies are soaked in methane and have learned to generate it. As they age, they learn how to pool the methane to various pores in their bodies and ignite it, giving them the ability to create fire. Of course, on a planet full of methane-soaked plants, fire creates many accidents. But not to worry, because they also come equipped with a quick form of regeneration, so quick that they can actually reattach severed limbs. The lifespan of a common Methanosian is about 300 Earth years, though much of its growth will take place in the first 18th of that time. When born, they start in their pod form, resembling a seed with a long prehensile stem. As they grow and begin to feed on other sources outside of their own chlorophyll, they more than double in size and mass. Their seeds will darken and start to sprout. This is their budding form. They continue this process and quickly enter their bloomed form, becoming an additional 0.75% larger with their seed and sprouts fully bloomed and their methane pores fully opened and ignited at all times. Toward the end of their life cycles, the roots and vines that make up their bodies will start to harden and become stiff like wood. They can still move, just much slower, over time needing to root themselves to the ground to stay upright. Most Methanosian villages will have clusters of large dead trees acting as a barrier. It is said that these trees are the elderly that have passed away, keeping watch over the younger generations, making sure not to wander into the bogs. Thanks to their biological advantages, the Methanosians have no established predator and have claimed the world for their own. In fact, they themselves feed on various less fortunate flora that can't live the same unrooted lifestyle. Instead of building homes, they will use their pyro abilities to make clearings in the tree lines. Then they will root themselves for the night so they can absorb as much direct sunlight as possible when the sun rises. They spend their days hunting, but they're not going after any old branch or leaves. The sentient flora of Methanos possess a special form of chlorophyll called xylophyll. This is what makes them sentient and differs them from any other trees or weeds in their biome. However, most of these species are not intelligent like the Methanosians, being more associated with wild animals. Methanosians go after sentient flora because the more xylophyll they consume, the faster they grow. And, despite the smell, it's apparently delicious. To them, the only thing tastier than a roasted vine or peregrine is a local delicacy they call the xyl fruit. A large round fruit filled to the brim with xylophyll. They are extremely hard to find, but when found, are no trouble to acquire because there is nothing to hunt. They appear randomly, and most Methanosians never question it. They're so happy when they find a fruit, most consume it in one bite. As for the origin of the fruit, we'll have to visit the home of the only other intelligent species on Methanos, the Zolbrine. Welcome to the Zolbogs, home of the Zolbrine. An evolved form of pond scum varying in size, the Zolbrine are made up of a series of porous organs that generate methanol algae. The bulbous organs located throughout their body are the powerhouse of their algae generation. Without them, the Zolbrine are hopelessly stuck in their bogs due to their water dependency. They use the algae to create host bodies that they can manipulate into different forms and shapes. With these saturated host bodies, they keep themselves hydrated for hours, giving them ample time out of water to find prey, because like the Methanosians, the Zolbrines are hunters, bringing any and all prey they find back to their boiling bog, where it is promptly drowned to death and left stewing until sunset. At night, the Zolbrine shed their hosts and return to the bog, where they spend hours absorbing the nutrients from their prey. Stewing the prey in liquid methane for hours results in a pure liquid form of xylophyll. Xylophyll, when digested by the Zolbrine, create the secretion that makes up the algae organs. So, no food, no algae. Their fear of starvation has even pushed them to hunting bigger game. There have been multiple recorded events of Zolbrine capturing young Methanosians and holding them captive for months at a time, using their regenerative abilities as a solid source of nutrients for the bog. Not many are known to have escaped. Thanks to their methane-soaked cells, they also have an array of abilities. As stated before, they can manipulate their host bodies at will, stretching and squashing as well as expanding their mass, making them larger. They're also able to remove the bulbous organs from their bodies and use them as a natural bomb. When removed, the thick sticky membrane of the organ can adhere and merge into objects, and after a short amount of time, detonate. The Zolbrine must be careful though. The less organs they have, the less algae they can generate, resulting in less time for their host. A situation like this is deadly for a Zolbrine, so many know not to use this ability unless absolutely necessary. In most cases, when groups go out to hunt, if one of them is falling behind because their host is deteriorating, they will leave them behind, so that the rest aren't slowed down, returning to the water themselves. Those unlucky enough to lose their host will start to rapidly dehydrate, resulting in death in a matter of minutes. When dehydrated, the algae organ will shrivel and its membrane will thicken into a dark red skin as a result of the raw xylophyll being exposed to the air. The Zolbrine's body will have withered away about an hour after dehydration, unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for a wandering hungry Methanosian, and thus is the origin of the Zal fruit. A world of vicious vegetarians indeed. You could say they both got their just desserts. Ha 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 ha! Methanos, a tough world to live in for sure, but thankfully, we were just visiting. Make sure to plunge back into the void sometime and join me on another extra-dimensional exploration. This is Horace, signing out.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that this series helps clear up a lot of questions about the 5 years later universe and fills in the lore gaps of some of your favorite series. If you'd like to talk to fellow fans, we have our Discord down there as well. Make sure you like this video if you'd like to see more content like this, and if there are any other planet, species, or dimension you'd like to see in a video, let us know in the comments down below. And we'd like to give a special thanks to our incredible Patreons. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to do projects like this. If you'd like to support us, you can join us on our Patreon down below, and get weekly updates for as low as $1 a month, and see stuff way before anyone else. Until next time, I'm surviving. Are you? Peace.